St. James's crime statistics up to August 3 showing 42 fewer murders compared to the same period in 2023. Joining us this morning is the Mayor of Montego Bay and Chairman of the St. James Municipal Corporation, His Worship Richard Vernon. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers.
This must be extremely good news for the parish council and for the people of Montego Bay.
Certainly, it is a good indicator in the right direction. And that is what we use as a measurement to see how well our policies are being implemented.
Talk to me about some of those policies. What do you attribute this decrease to in the city?
Certainly, there must be credit to the security forces and the tools that have been given by the government to carry out the work. So therefore, the government has to get some credit. But at a local level, we have managed to collaborate to do many of the projects that we're doing. And we operate with one underlying theory that is a broken window theory, which says that any infraction, no matter how small it is, we have to deal with it to create a safe space. Because if they are left unattended, then they could turn into bigger crimes. And we have to ensure that we address them as they pop up. So we have been working together with the police under the Step Up program to ensure that we alleviate these things and to reduce the probability for any such crime to happen within the space, especially within our city space. But of course, there are still concerns, and we cannot be always fooled by what we see, but we have to deal with the part that drives persons to do the crime in the first place. Therefore, we have to look at the psychosocial elements. We have to look at the social intervention. We have to look at all these things, because if you remove the gun, would these persons still do the crime? Perhaps. So we have to address that part. And that is an important part for us.
So talk to us a little bit, Your Worship, about the long-term goals, because yes, you have seen a reduction. That is good news. And you want the numbers to keep going in that direction. However, you still have the dubious, well, St. James does, the police division, of holding the title of Jamaica's most murderous division. It's a phrase I hate to hear, but that is the case. So how do you ensure that you keep this trend going in the way that you want to see it go?
This is a time when we intensify our operation. This is a time when the policing has to increase within the space to ensure that we maintain and reduce. And to create that safer space, we have to ensure that we are persistent and consistent. So that's the entire approach and the idea behind what we're doing. It's not that we don't do the right things. It's that we often do them without getting the required impact. And that is what affects us most of the times. Right across, not just in St. James. So we're ensuring that the operations that we're doing, we're getting the impact. The programs that we're implementing, we're monitoring them and evaluating them from time to time to ensure that we're making the right strides and that we are getting the right outcomes for what we set out to achieve.
Yeah. And I know one of the things that's affected St. James, Your Worship, is, for example, you had a factory, I think a dairy factory, that there were some businesses that closed down a couple of years ago, and people are saying they lost jobs. You mentioned the psychosocial, but also there are socioeconomic issues in the city. How do you see that being addressed? More job opportunities for young people?
Well, that is certainly important. While we are enjoying the lowest unemployment rate in the history of Jamaica, we have to ensure that these employment opportunities also provide a salary that is ideal or close to ideal to the circumstances. So it's not that we struggle significantly with unemployment, it's that the employment needs to generate enough income so that persons can realize their dreams.
Yeah.
And I always encourage young persons that when they enter the workforce, don't limit yourself, don't step into it and say, this is it. Use it as a stepping stone, get some experience, earn an income at the moment, skill up yourself, go to school, go back if you can, find a means and ways to get out of the situation and keep moving forward. Don't enter a minimum wage job and stay there. It's just that it should be a temporary situation and keep moving forward. So that is what I would say to our young people. you know that Montego Bay is also an area where scamming is loud on the mic, and we have to ensure that we continue to steer them away from that, because many of the murders, perhaps about 70%, are associated with gangs and guns, and the scamming tend to drive them into that direction because they work together in a network. So we have to provide these opportunities. They have been provided. We have to now look at salary that has been looked at, and we have to continue to improve in those areas so that we can create a space where they feel comfortable working and earning for themselves and families.
Okay. You speak to the young people as one stakeholder group, but nothing can be achieved in totality without getting the buy-in of the community. So the older folk, the other residents, the stakeholders, the business community, what kind of buy-in are you getting from them in terms of helping you to get these numbers to a desired level?
When we said partnership for prosperity, it is not mere political talk, it's reality. We have to partner to reach to that goal, and that is what we've been doing. We have implemented the Step Up program that I mentioned, and that, by the way, it is striving towards environmental protection and environmental preservation, urban preservation, sorry. So with that, we pull together all the different agencies, including the members of Corporate Montego Bay under one umbrella, and we do our operation. So we have significant buy-in from Corporate Montego Bay. Once we present to them the plans, they usually support, and I appreciate the support that we have received thus far in carrying out many of these operations and to sponsor many of these programs that we are working on. Mm-hmm. And of course, Step Up is a multifaceted approach to development. It speaks to environment and economic, social. So at the moment, for example, in the economic sphere of it, we're working on what we call the BID, a Business Improvement District. This will help us to manage the area that we regard as the tourist area, mm-hmm. the Jamaica Boulevard area, from the Howard Cook Boulevard area all the way to the airport. And to get the thing working, we have to get the buy-in from Corporate Montego Bay. 80% of them are on board to support this program and to ensure that it works. So we are now in the process of doing the resolution that is necessary to ensure its execution and send it to the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development for approval so we can implement. So that is what we're working on at the moment.
Yeah, I like the model, Mayor, because it's important that all hands are on deck. Along with Corporate Montego Bay, how closely do you work with the tourism people in ensuring that the tourism capital, as we like to refer to Montego Bay, is safe?
It's a built-in approach. We have what is called a Destination Assurance Council, and we have a member from the St. James Municipal Corporation that sits on that council. And from time to time, we will meet with them to look at the challenges that we are having, to look at the issues that are, have arisen from certain situations. Just last week, I don't remember which day, I think it was Wednesday, mm-hmm. we met with the chairman of the DAC and some of our craft traders to look at some of the challenges that they're having in that sector. And of course, as the key stakeholder in that area of the tourism offering, the craft market, we looked at some of the challenges that the traders are having and developed some solutions to address them. In other areas, we look at how we can redevelop the areas to make it more aesthetically pleasing. We are a body that deals with enforcement. We have to look at how we can manage the area to ensure that it is safe mm-hmm. for persons who are utilizing the area, locals and tourists alike. So we work closely with the tourism operatives within the sector to ensure that these objectives are achieved.
Yeah, Mayor, we have to go, but can I get your thoughts on Cherry Tree Lane and, what happened in that community? I can only imagine how the officials there are grappling and how you ensure something like that doesn't happen in your city. My heart goes out to the families that have been affected, and I trust that the government will be swift in the resolution to find out how it came about and to find the culprits and to bring them to justice. Mm-hmm. But to say that we want to prevent such a situation, it gets back to the psychosocial and the social elements of the community that we have to look at. You can give persons a gun, and if that
that stimulant is removed from the person, the impetus to do certain things will not be there. But if the stimulant is there, if you remove the gun even, and there's a machete or some other equipment to tool to carry out the act, there will be an execution. So we have to continue to look into the communities, and while we do hard policing, we have to do the soft part of it as well, which is to do the social intervention and to engage the families and the youngsters within these families to ensure that they are getting the needed attention and that they are appropriately engaged to bring about the best outcomes.
Okay. Thank you for that response. Thank you so much, Mayor. Appreciate you stopping in with us this morning. Mayor
By the way,
Montego Bay. Yes.
It's not the second city. It is the city of Montego Bay.
Ooh.
Or the Republic,
sir.
if you may.
Okay. So why we say second city all this time? Are you rebranding?
No. It's not. It's second to none.
Okay.
It is the city of Montego Bay.
Sir. Gotcha. Right. Mayor of Montego Bay and chairman of the St. James Municipal Corporation, His Worship, the Mayor, Richard Vernon. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Coming up next, we hear what you had to say for our social media talk back.